Hello everyone. Today we discuss about cell signaling, the introductory part of cell signaling. So here we discuss the basic concept of cell communication and why cells communicate, what is the need of cell communication, and the key terms that is related to the cell communication, like signaling molecule, how signaling molecules is synthesized in cell, what is the need of signals, and receptors, what is receptors, what are the types of receptors, what is signal, what are the types of signal, that the terms and that is the portions we discuss in this topic. Now cell, this is a cell that generates some signals, produces some signals, and it is transported to the another cell, and the response is generated against these signals. So this is the basic things of communication. Communication is a process by which cell communicates to another cell, communicate with another cell by using some chemical signals or stimuli, and the response is generated against those signals or stimuli. So now we discuss about the need for cell communication. So what is the need for cell communication? Or why cells can communicate with each other? For maintenance of homeostasis, and division and cell division and cell death can be controlled by cell communication, and several adaptations to environmental conditions, development and growth control can be controlled by cell communication. Some hormonal release or productions and other regulatory molecules can be released using those communication, and metabolism can be regulated using cell communication. So that is the needs for cell communication. That's why cell communication is needed. Now we move on to the cell signaling, the basic step of cell signaling. The basic step of cell signaling involves the synthesis of signaling molecule. The signaling molecule is synthesized inside the cell, and it can be released in the extracellular matrix or cytoplasmic region, where it can be transported to the another cell. And those signaling molecule, after transported to another cell, the cell contains receptor, and the receptor is capable of detection of the signaling molecule, and these detection can lead to the binding of signaling molecule to the receptor, and after binding they form the receptor signal complex, and this receptor signal complex can lead to the conformational change, and thus the response is generated against those signaling molecular stimuli. So now we can discuss about signaling molecule that is related to cell signaling, as I have told you before. Now what is signaling molecule? Signaling molecule is a molecule that is responsible for the mechanism, or that binds to the receptor signaling complex can be formed. And these molecules is of two types. One is non-polar and another is polar. So non-polar signaling molecule have some basic criteria, that non-polar molecules carries hydrophobic signal and it can cross plasma membrane, whereas polar molecules contains hydrophilic signal and it cannot or unable to cross plasma membrane. Now I can discuss it elaborately with the help of diagrams. So these are the diagrams. Here it is a typical cell and it contains nucleus. So non-polar signaling molecules are there that can cross plasma membrane, and it can go inside the cell, and in the cytoplasm there are some receptors present in the cytosol, and those non-polar signaling molecule binds to those receptors, and it can also cross the nuclear membrane, and the new receptors that are present inside the nucleus, they can also binds to those receptors also. Whereas the polar molecules, polar signals cannot cross the plasma membrane, so that binds to the they binds to the surface receptors. Here we can see the surface receptors, and they binds to those surface receptors and form receptor signaling complex. Thus they can work. Here are some examples of non-polar molecules. Aldosterone, testosterone, cortisol, estrogen, retinoic acid, thyroxines, mineralocorticoid, glucocorticoid. Those are some examples of non-polar molecules. Here, one thing is exceptional, that is the receptor here is non-polar in nature. The receptor here is non-polar in nature, and these non-polar signaling receptors is exceptional because it is, though it is present on plasma membrane, but it is non-polar in nature, and this exceptional cases is present in both animals and plants also. In animals, prostaglandins, thromboxanes, leukotrienes, those are present on plasma membrane, but they are non-polar in nature. But in plants, there are also some non-polar in nature signal receptors. They are present on plasma membranes. Those are gibberellic acid, auxins, oracecocorticoids. So these are exceptional cases, and the examples of polar molecules are, there is aspartate, glutamate. Those aspartate and glutamate are excitatory neurotransmitters that are amino acids, and they are work through open ligand gated and sodium channels. And there are glycine, gamma aminobutyric acids. So those are inhibitory neurotransmitters that works through open chloride channels, ion channels. And there are some amino acid derivatives, histidine, that converts to histamine. There are tryptophan, that is serotonin, and tyrosine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, dopamine can be generated from tyrosine. So those are amino acid derivatives, and there are some peptides that acts as a signaling molecule. Those are antidiuretic hormones, oxytocin. Here is oxytocin, insulin, prolactin, growth hormone, calcitonin, relaxin, erythropoietin. Those are some peptide molecules that acts as signaling molecules. So those are the basic concepts of signaling molecules, that is polar and non-polar.